Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about finding your peak in esports. We're going to talk about finding your edge, and we're going to also talk about how to consistently perform at your best. The first and probably most important thing we're going to talk about is finding your maximum capacity. It's basically the point at which you burn out. It's probably the most important step. What you do is you put the maximum time you physically can into what you're trying to get good at, which is CS for us, and then you identify your burnout point. So for some people this might be 5 hours, for some people like Donk we talked about in the last video, it might be 15 hours. You need to find the point where you start feeling burnout. So when it's getting to the point where you just can't do it anymore, it's just too much, that kind of thing, what you do is you just lower your hours. So let's say your burnout point where you're just tired, you can't do anything 5 hours, drop it to 4 hours and see if that's manageable. And if that's manageable, that's your kind of peak performance that you can work out. So you find the volume that you can put, and then you just work a little bit below it. So you find the max volume and you test all these things. So you test 5 hours, see how it feels alright, test 6 hours, okay, that doesn't feel too good, drop it 5 hours 30, and that might be your point. That's your maximum time, and this is different for everyone. Some people can only put a few hours in because you're doing full-time work or that kind of thing. This is how you get good at any kind of sport. This will allow you to maximize growth while avoiding burnout. So this is just going to keep you consistent, and you're going to be performing at your best, your maximum capacity. We're going to talk about what you do during that time, during those hours that you put in later on in this video. I've made many videos of it in the past, but I'll go into it more now. Second thing is consistent training. So I have videos in the past about it. Give them a watch, talking about practice routines and that kind of thing. A lot of people in esports don't have set practice routines where they should. In every other sport, we have practice routines. You see tennis players doing things with the balls, catching balls, blah blah blah. People usually just hop on, like even pros will just hop on, just like DM for like 10 minutes and play an official. Like, you need to be training your aim, and you need to be training your movement, and no matter what level you are, you're level 1, you're silver, it doesn't matter. Just consistent training is super important. Watch my last 2 videos ago, it'll be in the description if you want a consistent kind of training schedule. It's going to optimize you to be able to perform at your best. The other thing is role specialization. So this is more directed at team players, but also PUG players. Decide what role you want. So if you're ramp on nuke, try stay ramp on nuke for all your teams. Like, try not to mix up around. Like, you see these players, you see Axel and stuff, like they haven't really moved roles for years, and that's why they're so good and that's why they're so consistent. This could be involved in you being an AWPer. So if you're an AWPer, stay as an AWPer. Like, don't switch around. Know your identity as a player. Know your strengths and weaknesses. Maybe you're more aggressive, maybe you're more passive. Find your role. It might take, in your early kind of pugs or your early teams, you might have to work out what your role is, but find your role and stick to it. You know, even though maybe your role might not be the star player, people want players who can just be consistent and play like not the star roles. Like, you're going to get into more teams and you'll be probably more successful in the long run if you just consistently are doing the role that you've done for ages and you know how to do it because you've done so many hours. And that just comes back to the volume point that I always talk about on this channel, and just, you know, maximizing your potential, because you're not just spreading yourself thin. So you're just focusing on one role, one position on each map. Try and stick with it. Another thing I've talked about before as well is being nice and a good teammate. If you don't do this, it's very hard to get experience with good players. And that's one of the main things that you kind of want to get, is experience playing with people. Because the most that I've learned in my career is playing with players like Azza, playing with players like Gratisfaction, you know, Sterling, Licky, like APOC. Like, you learn, these are some of the players from Australia that I've played with, and these are the players that I've learnt from the most. So you need to play with the experienced players and the people that you want to be like and you want to be around. You need to surround yourself with these people. And if you're not nice and you're not a good teammate, good players don't want to play with you. So it's really important that you do this, or any of these steps that I'm going to talk about in this video and have talked about just don't matter at all. So just stay really nice, stay calm, stay a pillar in the team, and this will up your chances of getting into a good team and will allow you to stay consistent for a longer amount of time. Another thing is to review your personal demos. So You need to be watching your games back. I saw someone comment in one of my other videos saying, oh, if you pug, you don't need to watch your pug demos. You need to watch your pug demos. Like, if that's what you're trying to get good at, and that's where, say you're trying to get into FPL, FPLC, you need to watch your demos back anyway. Like, if you're not watching them back, you're just losing. Like, that's where you're going to improve so much, is watching them back. So it doesn't matter if you have a crap game and a good game. Watch them back. Like, watch your crap games back, watch your good games back, watch your just average games back. You don't have to watch every single one, but watch a lot of them. Especially, even at the start, I'd say watch every single one. Just watch all of them. And you don't have to exactly, you know, sit there and watch it for hours, but just skip through it, write down notes, like we've talked about before, on a notepad, on your shift tab, on a piece of paper next to you, write down the notes from it, and then refer back to them in the game. We talk about this a lot on this channel, is having a notepad next to you so you can always write down things, so you don't forget things, and so you can remember things that you normally would have forgotten if you didn't write it down. Another one everyone talks about is watching professional demos. So what people a lot of the time do, they just watch the demos and nothing happens. They just watch the demos. And they just skip through, skip. Actually watch the whole demo. So when I was playing with Issa in GG How, in one of my ex-professional teams, he talked about this, and a lot of time I just skip through and just skip. And he said just watch the whole demo, and it's so true. You watch everything that's happening. Really get in the zone of how they're thinking. And think about, even pause. So say Zyru's peeked this angle, killed a guy. Just think about, pause them and think, what would I do here? I'd probably re-peek. You think to yourself. Then you resume the demo and say he runs away. Then you're like, okay, so my decision making isn't aligning with Zyru. Why has he moved this way? Why has he done this? So really look at it and write notes about what these players are doing, these professional players. Take screenshots of cool utility and then use them in your game. So I recommend getting a Notion page, taking screenshots of utility that you see in the demos, put it into the Notion page, have 3 columns, working on understand and then tested. So 3 columns, and you just drag it across. So once you're just learning, you move it to the middle column once you try it, then when you've done it, you've put it in the other column. So recording everything, putting it all in a Notion, writing notes about these pro demos is super important. Quick tip, watch pro demos if you want to get better within a team, and watch pug demos, Zyru, Donk, Monacy, if you want to get better as a pug player. So you don't always have to watch, you can cross this as well. So if you're a team player, you can also watch pug demos, but don't outlaw pug demos. So it can be some of the best. You can learn so much stuff from pug demos just by watching Zyru demos, or if you're an AWPer, you know, Rops pug demos, Donk pug demos, depending on your role that we talked about earlier. And this kind of thing will just improve your pugs so much. Like, if you're watching team games, it can be hard to transfer to pugs sometimes. So yeah, just watch games of these pros play and see how they do it, and it's going to help you so much. Quick tip 2 is find POV videos on YouTube and watch them in your spare time instead of like watching cat videos or something. Watch these POVs in your spare time. Create a playlist on YouTube, add a bunch of POV videos, so just search up on YouTube Zyru POV face it. There'll be a bunch of videos, save them to a playlist, demo playlist, and whenever you're in the bathroom or you're going to work on the tram or the train, just pull it up and watch the POV. I saw Mac, he was on the treadmill watching POV videos on YouTube of this could either be a pug demo or a team demo, depending on what your goals are. But yeah, I saw him watching it on the treadmill at the gym, so that's respect. So do that, don't waste time, get maximum learning, maximum volume of learning into your days. Anyway guys, appreciate you watching. Doing 52 videos this year, video a week, so stay tuned. I'm just trying to give as much value to everyone as I can, and I'll catch you in the next one.